Man, what is up, everybody? What is up? What is up? What is up? It's your boy LJ Bowens, and I'm gonna let y'all know right now. I am very happy to be here. I am very thankful to be here, and I have to share a quick story with y'all real quick before we get this thing going. So, for everybody that's tuning in right now to the show, if you read the title, you read the title right. This is the series finale, not the season finale. This is the series finale of the Ninja, the Nerd, and the Nubian. As you know, I am 1/3 of the wonderful group that makes up the Ninja, Nerd, Nubian, LJ Bowens. But I have to tell a quick story real quick. So I'm not gonna get too much into details, but over the past weekend, I was on my way to South Carolina and I had some car trouble. So much so that it bothered me to the point that when we were planning this show, I almost scrapped the show because I was having enough going on. And this is our final show. So if I didn't do this show, it was going to be heartbreaking to a lot of people. It's going to be heartbreaking to the other 2/3 that make up this group, especially my sister, my twin, Ebony Payne English, because she, like, as soon as I let the message, like, we may not be doing it because of the contract, she was like, no, I understand, but no. And then, being the wonderful woman that she is, my wife, Monica Haynes Bowens, said, yeah, you need to go ahead and do that show because you're not going to have another day to do it. And you owe it to the people itself to make this show happen. And here we are. And I'm thankful that I have such a great woman that's in my ear telling me about stuff I need to do when I let the world get to me. So if anything, I can give y'all this message: do not let the world get to you, because sometimes we have so many great things happening, but we let so much of the outside world get to us that it clouds our judgment on certain things. So I am thankful for my wife. And I'm thankful to bring y'all our series finale of the Ninja, the Nerd, and Nubian. Like I said, I am 1/3 of your host, LJ Bowens, and I'll be remiss if I don't bring in my twin, the awesome, the beautiful Ebony Payne English. What is up, twin? Hey! What is up? 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 What is up?
All things blessed, we just down here in Duval living life to the best we can, to the best we can. Yeah.
I love you. I you know what? I don't
I
say it. I
love
don't
you.
say
I'm
this
so it's
often.
bittersweet. I can't believe yo, we got through this pandemic together.
I know, right? So
We got, it's not the pandemic's not over, but you know what I'm saying? At least we have a handle on how to handle it. When we
yes,
first
you're right.
did this first episode, I didn't know we ain't know what the fuck.
You did. So real quick, guys. So I'm gonna let y'all know right now. So the whole purpose of this final show, some of this is gonna be recap from a lot of the stuff we did, but then we're gonna get into, of course, Ninja, Nerd, Nubian stuff that we always do. But the whole idea. So if we talk about how the show started, we literally have to go back to the beginning, like literally back to the beginning of 2019. And I am fine with sharing this story. So there's a
My
festival.
last show on tour. It was like the last out of town gig I had.
Yeah.
Like that was the last time I was out of town. That was it.
And we have to
Yeah.
go back, and we have to go back and talk about that. So real quick, shout out to Spirit Wolf that just tuned in. What's going on, brother? Love you as well, brother. Love you.
Love you.
So when my sister came down and featured at our Art Meets Live show, which that show itself was phenomenal and historic.
And I got to meet Jack Stilton. Let's not forget that.
Which is funny because you was our last physical show. So, but we had lunch the next day, and we were talking about a discussion we had at a festival the prior year, which is Southern Fried Poetry Festival, which was in Fayetteville. So me and a poet was talking at one of the meetings we had, and then Ebony had this idea. She said, "You know what? That'll be a dope show. What if y'all came with the show and just call it the nerd and I'll say it on here, like the nerd and the nigga." So that was literally the original name of the whole premise. And then we brought this idea back up.
And it was because both of the people I was talking to, I felt like took on both personas of like nerdiness and niggadom. The nerd and the nigga. They exist within, and the blurred community, that's what the blurred community basically consists of. It's like some hood ass geeks. You
Yep.
understand? So,
Yeah. Mm-mm-mm.
so I was like, that would be an excellent TV show. Oh my gosh! Oh.
So
And then y'all could interview other blurs.
and that and so then the pandemic happened after everything. And then during this time with the pandemic, we were trying to like a lot of us. So not before this even happened, like a lot of us, all artists in general, were trying to figure out what we can do. Number one, to keep our sanity. Because for a lot of artists that are touring or just any type of work we get is based on us being visible. And when you have a lot of the venues and a lot of the colleges and everything shut down, there's like a lot of income that's gone. And in some ways, visibility. Like I don't think a lot of people understand that when it comes to artists, the visibility, even when it comes to returning fans, new fans, that was taken away. So I end up having to move one of my shows we do here virtual. But then I just got the thought, Lord, why not just try and see how we can push the envelope and do other stuff? So I hit Ebony back up and I hit up Moses West, which that if you don't know that brother is like that whole rap up she was talking about. He is that. Like that's what I love. We're all of that, but Moses is like that connecting. That was the connecting glue that I don't think we knew at the time. I think we were just like, yeah. So it's like let's put it on, see what happens, and then we did a pilot episode because the show wasn't originally called The Ninja, the Nerd, and Nubian. It was just like Blurred's Talking Blurred or something like that. And shout out to LaMail for Scary Crit. Shout out to LaMail for Scary Crit.
Yes, what up, LaMail?
If you guys haven't heard of Scary Crit, look up Scary Crit. It's on all your favorite podcast networks. That show is phenomenal. But
I'm trying to get in that movie, Mel.
I gotta hear about it. I gotta talk about that definitely. But we ended up doing a pilot episode, and like it was like really no structure. It was just a pilot episode, and we ended up having a blast. So we was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and like try to make it something. Let's make it something and see what happens. And I'm not gonna go through too many details, but the great thing is because of me doing this show the way it is, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube. Like we have all the episodes on YouTube, including the one that we're doing now, because it's getting live streamed. So it's been a blast. Like it's literally been a blast. And
I've enjoyed myself very much.
And because some of the arguments we have are like organic. Like these arguments and debates are not planned, but that's the beauty of it. And I love it so much because this has kept me in tune with a lot of stuff that's been going on. Because there's been a lot of great things that have been going on in the nerd culture, even while the pandemic is happening. But it also gave me an opportunity to be close with my friends and family in a virtual sense. And then we invited some dope ass people on here.
We had
like our first guest was a kid by the name of Grayson the Great, who just now started back doing his channel because he was doing all the virtual schooling. But that was the first official like guest we had, and just the wealth of knowledge of stuff he's done and still doing now. It's been amazing. We had it's so many people we had. We had Shadow from Southern Fried. We had our R&B, the movies, the Bell from Scary Crit. It's been dope. Like, and this is like the end of it all. But you know, it's a beautiful thing because when you look at it, and it's like by all means, we do not. I'll be honest with you, we do not want to end this. But there's some stuff that we have to handle as far as our artistic abilities, because my twin on here, Ebony Payne English, being executive director of a dope thing is phenomenal, and I'm so proud of her. You got and then Moses West, he's not on here right now. Hopefully he jumps in, but he's like one of the hardest working poets I know. He's got like 1 million events happening and making them happen. He's like a pushing man for shows in that area. Like that man grinds extremely hard, and yeah, man. I mean, it's bittersweet a little bit, but the great thing is we have memories and we can always look back at these videos. So I'm thankful for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a question dealing with the ninja, the nerd, and the Nubian. And by all means, you got more than one answer. We'll talk about it all, and then we'll get into some of the holiday stuff because it is the holidays. So we kind of talk about the holidays a little bit in our own way. So before we wrap up the show, so
Mahogany Rose is making a gingerbread house right now as we speak. Her best friend.
really,
Every year they make a gingerbread house from scratch together. It's a tradition, and so that's what Mahogany Rose.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah,
so
because Maria's mom has the time and the energy. Maria's mom and her dad have the time and energy to make gingerbread houses from scratch with toddlers. And like they have the measurements, they do like the architectural design. They got the blueprints and everything.
man, so crazy thing. Like, so I'm gonna lead that lead to a question. That's gonna lead to a question, but I want to tell you something that Monica did. So you know me, and you know every now and then I like to make my own kind of drinks.
Yes.
Not traditional drinks. I'll make my own kind of drink. So yes. Monica, for an early Christmas present, she ended up getting me a book where you can write down the recipes of how you make drinks. So I can literally every drink I normally make, I can now put down the measurements of how I did it. And keep that book. But then she ended up getting me. Okay, so you remember back in 2013, Southern Fried. No, not 2013, 2012, Tampa, Southern Fried. And remember that after we met up in the lobby and Mr. Fun had his own like mixing kit making drinks.
Yes.
She ended up buying me that.
Oh, you fancy.
I know, right? So look, so next time you come to Fayetteville and you see me making drinks at the house, just know that it's coming. So I got y'all, man. I got you.
The post-pandemic turn up is gonna be so lovely.
It's gonna be beautiful.
Oh, I can't wait to do poet rap things with my poetry rap.
So since you brought up what Mahogany Rose is doing and the tradition of making the gingerbread houses, I'm gonna go back to asking a question I wanted to ask about the Ninja Nerd and Nubian, but dealing with Christmas or just dealing with how let's wrap up both Thanksgiving and Christmas, depending on which one you celebrate and how you celebrate it. What are some of your holiday traditions growing up?
Church.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Raised by Southern Pentecostal preachers, so we went to church. We went to church.
Okay. So
a lot more often during the holidays. So.
Okay, so second part to that question, what do you make as far as your traditions now?
So when I became a mother, the first thing I wanted to do was create a situation where me and Mahogany Rose had our own traditions as a family. Like we had our own things that were just our things that we could do for nostalgia and our culture. Like I wanted to create a culture between me and my daughter. And so we have our own traditions and things that we do celebrate and things that we do acknowledge. So we do the Kwanzaa exchange, and we do like restitution, right, for like Thanksgiving. So we rededicate the land that our house is built on, or where before we got our house. We lived on a farm, so we rededicated the land on a farm to the Native Americans who lost their lives, so that we could be there that day, alive and well, with the power to change and put some energy on that sacred ground that we stood on. And so that's something we do every year, rededication. We make offerings and give praise to the ancestors and observe certain traditions that are typically cultural. So, because my great grandmother was she was seminal.
Okay.
And so we we poured libations and honored that part of our bloodline. And that's something that very special for me and Mahogany Rose, to teach her how to use her magic and teach her how to make offerings to the ancestors and things that I'm interested to see where that goes and what she does with that and how she transitions that to a culture of appreciation and Thanksgiving. When she has her own home and her own autonomy to do what she will with the holiday. But that's the thing. We make yams and musical instruments, and uh, we sing songs. We sing traditional songs, and it's special. We got a special thing going on. What about you? You and your family. You and your kids.
So I grew up. So I grew up with, but our family is huge. It's huge as hell. It's actually a lot huge now because like the second generation, third generation, everybody's coming in. So we always used to. We would always pick a year where the family would either come to Ohio for Thanksgiving or go to Detroit for Thanksgiving, as far as that particular holiday. And then Christmas is always was really spent with the immediate families. We always just stayed with, the parents, and that was it. And then we met up the next day. As with now being in Fayetteville, all my family is literally still up north, and I have maybe a couple of cousins in Atlanta, but I'm literally before my son was born, and of course before I was married. I've always been here by myself. Like I don't have.
I was about to say, I be forgetting that you were a transplant.
Yeah, military, man, military.
You're
So
not really Southern fried.
I mean, no, I'm not really so. Well, it depends on how you look at it. Because my grandmother was born in Magnolia, Mississippi, so of course, the bloodline
Okay.
kind of.
Okay, I got
She
you. I
moved up
got
to
you.
the
I'm
Midwest.
keeping going to put it down. I get it.
And then my dad, even though he was born in Portmore, Jamaica, he actually moved to Forest City, North Carolina, before he moved up to Detroit. So it's like I've always had, which is weird because I told my mom this. I was like, I've always felt like, even though I was born in the Midwest, I've always felt like the South had been home, especially because of my grandma and just my dad. So it's always been like that weird feeling. But now, until this year, what we would normally do here is do a Friendsgiving. So a lot of the people that we are close to here, we will always get together and, kind of have like people will cook and then friends will cook. But one thing that we've always done for the past few years up until now, we have a friend here that does so much in the community. And he does he cooks on Thanksgiving Day, and he has like bike clubs, organizations, and like literally hundreds of people get together to get all this food that he's cooked and go give it out to like homeless communities, people that may be in hotels not with their families and stuck in the city, and we will go give out food, and we will always do that. We made that tradition here for us and our friends before we actually have Thanksgiving dinner. One thing we did this year different because we didn't do the Friendsgiving because of pandemic and everything. If for the first time in actually 6 years, me and my wife actually cooked everything together, and like I made it my personal mission to make sweet potato pie the way my grandma used to make it. So I ended up calling my mom and getting the recipe for how my grandma makes her sweet potato pie. I ended up making sweet potato pie, which it was like a great moment, but then it made me sad because I think about my grandma during this time. And then my grandma back in 2010, I believe, she passed away the week before Thanksgiving. So I've always had that bittersweet feeling about Thanksgiving because my grandma passed right before it. But I know my grandma and her spirit will always say, still press through, just still remember the good times with it. So that's always been like my hard thing with Thanksgiving. Christmas, on the other hand, I'm having a hard time with Christmas because my boys are like not as young as they used to be. So it's always hard now trying to figure out things they would want for Christmas because my oldest son is 20 and I'm gonna mail him a gift card. He said he don't want much. But then Jalen's here, which everybody always sees because Jalen's here in North Carolina with me. But Jalen's at a point where he acts too much like me. And what I mean by too much like me, I'm a person like all I want for Christmas is just fam. And like I really don't need nothing, but people will still get me something. And this year he just wanted a video game and his grandparents got him a video game before I can get him the video game. So which is fine. So his Christmas is pretty much set, but I still got him something. But he don't never like when you ask him what do you want for Christmas? Like you try to like he's like, I'm good. I'm just chilling. I'm good. So it's like it's hard when it's hard when you know the older your kids get, the magic of Christmas kind of goes away a little bit, depending on how you make Christmas. That's why it's like always weird.
I can't wait for her to get older so that because first of all, I despise Christmas music. Okay, it's my booty. I'm so like I do not. It's so annoying. Oh God, make it stop. Okay, but I'm not going to yuck Mahogany Rose's yum because she loves Christmas. Mahogany Rose loves Christmas, and it's the craziest thing because I'm not a Christmas person. She loves it though. It's her thing, which is why her and her best friend. They over there making gingerbread houses, okay? I'm not. It's not my thing. But I'm gonna always support her and allow her to do things that make her feel good. And it makes her feel good. She's like having the time of her life. But one holiday I do like me and my friends started our own holiday. Because we weren't the Christian bunch at college. And so we started for Easter. We started our own holiday called Players Holiday. And Players Holiday is a 24-hour lock-in. And we started it one Easter Sunday, like the group of us that were the outsiders that weren't going to church and weren't going home. We started Players Holiday. It's a 24-hour lock-in. We cook. Everybody picks a meal to participate in. And so we cook 3 meals. And then we have champagne, liquor, other libations. You know what I'm saying? And we have a 24-hour conversation. Like nobody leaves. We eat, drink, be merry, and everybody stays up for 24 hours, and we have a 24-hour conversation. That's Players Holiday, and like that's been a tradition for over a decade now. And it's like
that's dope. I'm like, listen to that idea. I'm like, that is dope. And it's funny because like I've never like so everybody always make up holidays, but like something like that. I feel like
years, I'm getting old. Oh God.
Even that, like no, don't do that.
I was like, college was 15 years. It was more than 15 years ago.
But look at how that whole idea though sounds dope and therapeutic at the same time. That's what makes that sound so.
It is, and we don't always get along. Let me tell you, we don't always get along, and we don't always have the same views on like major stuff like politics, religion, all of that kind of thing. But the thing about being locked in with people for 24 hours is that you're forced to work it out. Figure it out, talk your way through it. And then eventually, all things come full circle. You'll find a way to either agree to peacefully disagree or figure out a way where you can negotiate something that works for both of you. I mean, I think like we fixed the country maybe 4 times over at Players Holiday, me and my homies. Like that's why like, having these arguments and these debates and be like, I think we solved the problem between black men and black women and bringing the family unit together and all of that. But it's these, nobody has their cell phones out. We put the cell phones away. We're not playing video games. It's just us and food and drink and and our personalities and we got to go for what we know. And like that is my favorite holiday. To this day, it's my favorite holiday. And unfortunately, we didn't have Players Holiday this year because of the pandemic. So,
but it gives you something to look forward to next year, though. because God willing, around this time, it'll be new, but it will give you something to look forward to, like having when it gets to that point. So before I go to the next thing, Monica says she likes that Players Holiday.
Wait. When this is all over, I'll invite y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going on off of tradition, not switching off of tradition real quick, traditions and holidays. Go back to the original question, because I think this was because we have to literally think about everything we've done with this show. So if you can, what has been some of your favorite moments with this baby that we put together, the Ninja, the Nerd, the Nubian?
I think it's definitely been the range of topics. I don't have in my everyday environment. I don't really have people to share my nerdiness with, because I'm on go all the time. Like I'm on serious ed, back to the business ed. Let's write this grant ed. Let's build this program ed. Let's go to this meeting. Let's teach this class, which I have fun doing all those things. I love what I do. But there's a side of me that has nothing to do with poetry, that has nothing to do with music, that has nothing to do with education, that a lot of people don't get a chance to experience. And that's my blurred side, which that community, it means a lot to me, because that was my first tribe. When I was in grade school and I was awkward and well read and just into comics and things that just weren't popular amongst the demographic of people I was trying to hang out with. My blurred friends kind of surrounded me and kept me going, kept me afloat energetically, gave me a place to belong, gave me somewhere to sit at lunch. And so me being able to have conversations with other blurs and bring my childhood back into my adult atmosphere and affirming that little girl inside of me that just needed a place to belong, I think it's been very healing and it's been a beautiful thing. And it just made everything else make sense. This was gonna be a thing of mine, and I felt so bad about it being a thing of mine because I felt alone. But only to come around and do this podcast and know that I was, you know what I'm saying? I was one of many. I just hadn't found my tribe yet. And when I did, I knew that I was in the right place. You know what I'm saying? I was in the right place all along. It was where I was going. So that's been the most enjoyable thing, is being able to talk about all things Blair and having a safe space to do that without nerd shaming or
yeah
people questioning my blackness.
So here's the beautiful thing about that, and that's been one of my great things too, because I think it's been one of those things where it's always been an idea to have something like this, and I've never really. Nerd Slam is one thing, but this was something totally different, and we had, like you said, the range. Because I always talk about, I don't like how new age, new generation nerds will only consider nerd stuff it has to be a book, it has to be an anime, it has to be a cartoon. When it's a lot more stuff. So there was a post, and this is funny because I'm going off topic, but it's kind of with the topic of what you were stating. There was a post that I think our good friend, James DeVille, he had put up a post about a comment that Fredro Starr made about Royce the 5'9", calling him a nerdy rapper. So he said, who do we feel as nerdy rappers? So then everybody kind of was listening to the same people. And then I end up putting Busta Rhymes in that category. And people literally was like, how is he nerdy? I don't see how he nerdy and everything like this. I was like, so this is what I did. So this is what I did. I was like, go. I was like, and then I was like, what are y'all basing it? Are y'all basing it on lyrics or y'all basing it just on rapper in general? I said, because if we're just talking about his style, because he ended up saying, because he made it and did a lot of movies. And I was like, I'm not even talking about Busta being in movies. I said, look at let's talk about his video catalog. All his video catalog ideas he gave to Hype Williams about something he wanted to see. I said, give me some more video, and I think it's called Light That Ass on Fire. he based those off of cartoons. The Light Your Ass on Fire video literally was inspired by Tom and Jerry, and he said that's how he wanted that made. So that has some level of it right there. Then two, if you're talking about nerd stuff, a lot of his albums is based on theology and the Bible, and he's literally talking about stuff that happens in the Bible. And if you're trying to tell me that knowing theology is not a study of something, which in turn, when you're a nerd, you study something, you can't do that. And then let alone Leaders of the New School, they made a whole song about the PTA.
Way back to the Leaders of the New School days. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So it was an interesting conversation. It was an interesting conversation. That's why I said when you said that.
I mean, do you really bar or do you just be nodding your head to the beat? You know?
Yeah. So that's why I was like, it is.
Busta Rhymes definitely fits the blurry category.
Yeah, definitely.
Rapper. Who did they say? I missed the post. Who were they saying?
Some people put in Elza, which I can see Elza being in there. Who used to be with Slum Village. MF Doom. His character alone. Fonte from Little Brother, definitely. It was a couple of people like Lupe Fiasco. Lupe Fiasco definitely got to be in that category. But I can't remember some of the other ones, but those are like some of the ones that stuck out.
Andre 3000.
Yeah, he was in it, but then they started bringing up the debate, saying how could he really be that if he's only been doing like one? It was some. Trust me, it was people reaching. It was people doing this. They were reaching. It was amazing in a sense of the word. But
I would say like his affinity for language, like he's a linguist. Andre 3000, he's a linguist. He's a master of the English language.
Yes, definitely. And then that's why I say it depends on how you look at the spectrum of like how you do it. Like they're a nerd rapper that's embracing other than the lyrics or embracing other stuff. That's why I'm like, it depends on how you look at it. And then when I asked that question, no one gave me an answer. So I was like, what lens are we looking through? Like if I said, if you put out a certain lens of how you looking through it, then I'd be like, you know what, I'll buy out.
He had a cartoon called The Class of 3000.
So you can't. Some people you can't. It's like yeah, like. But that's the beauty. But that's the beauty of debates. That's the beauty of debates because some people will have literally what they believe is fact, and if it's pointed out, then you either agree. Like my friend once told me, you either submit or you fight. You either gonna submit to it and be like, you know what, you're right. You're gonna fight and say, nah, I don't agree with that. So, but I would say one of my favorite moments from. It's a lot, but I think the one that stands out the most to me was the last episode we did because the whole episode.
That was a great episode.
Yeah, because the whole episode, as far as it was just because it opened up so much more than just talking about horror. It just talked about everything. Yeah. And I think that stood out because it was supposed to be just a Halloween edition, but it ended up becoming more than that, which made that show that much more beautiful in the sense of what we talked about. But yeah, man, that was one of my favorite moments. So holiday stuff. I'm gonna bring this question to you, and by all means, I know if you have some questions, throw it in there. But I want to bring this particular one up because this has been like a diehard debate for everybody as it deals with Christmas movies. I could ask you what your favorite Christmas movie is, but we'll get to that eventually. But the debate is Die Hard and Lethal Weapon were both movies that came out, action movies that were themed around certain stuff happening, but they were all during the Christmas season. Yeah. So the question is, do you feel that Die Hard and Lethal Weapon, the first one, should be considered Christmas movies?
Yeah, I consider them to be Christmas movies. I was just thinking of Lethal Weapon the day before yesterday. I was like, ooh, I'm gonna watch Lethal Weapon. Yeah. Why would it be a Christmas movie? It's definitely a Christmas movie.
No, because that's been always the debate because people would say it like because people. Thank you. That's what I always try to point out. They say it's got it, and then even if you try to bring up the debate with sequels, you can't do that with like even if you throw. Let's say even if you brought up because this is my theory. Mm-hmm. I believe Die Hard is more a Christmas movie than Lethal Weapon. Here's why. Lethal Weapon to me, yes, is a Christmas movie. But if you bring up the sequel and anything after that, then you can say, okay, it rules it out. But you have to make Die Hard a Christmas movie because the sequel took
I always fucking with him at Christmas.
the airport during Christmas. So for any
worst holiday experiences ever.
And it is man.
So we're gonna ask that is Friday a Christmas movie?
The Friday after next?
Yeah.
Santa Claus was stealing gifts instead of giving gifts.
Yeah,
oh, hold on. I got somebody commenting on some of the stuff we said earlier about the rap comment. Wu-Tang was a nerd rap group.
Yes, it was. They also listen. RZA and GZA are so nerdy. Like the like they're the top of the nerd gang list. Mm-hmm. The top. The RZA and the GZA. The top of the nerd gang. Ghostface Killer is right up underneath there. Nerd.
And then another point to the Busta argument that we agreed on. Busta was dressed as Mega Man in a video.
Yes, he was.
Like,
yes, he was. Running through
Dangerous to Lethal Weapon in the Last Dragon. Like that's why I was like saying that. Like, how do people say he's not a nerd? Like a nerd, and this is the stuff that he came up with.
Oh,
like,
yeah, he was showing up.
Put your hands on he was based off Coming to America.
Yeah. He did a Harlem Nights too.
So, man, I can talk about this all day. But yeah, I'm looking at the comments and getting the comments up on here for rap arguments. Rap is a beautiful thing. It's okay, so you know what's funny? I was about to ask you a question, but I can't even think of any songs off the top of my head. Yeah, I do. Do you have a favorite song, whether it been a cover or an original, from any pop star that's like famous now? Not like so much the originals, but like any favorite like holiday song that someone has made that you can listen to at any time and be happy with. I
mean, I don't like holiday music. But Donny Hathaway's version of This Christmas, I mean, I can't help it. I mean, what's not to like? Is it?
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, I just want to hug myself every time it comes on. Just hey, God, I love it. And then Boyz II Men, Let It Snow, because I feel hush to that. And it's not snowing. I live in Florida, but they made me feel like maybe it should be snowing, perhaps.
It happens. Look, North Carolina has not gotten heavy snow since 2013, 2014, which was the time I met Monica. That was the last time we got heavy snow. I know, right? That was a sign right there. That was a sign right there.
I know.
So, look. So,
great job, Monica.
Yeah, she's looking at this right now. I would say Run DMC's Christmas. I can't remember the name of it. Like that's bad. Something right now.
It's so corny, LJ. No.
I'm sorry. Like,
no disrespect. I love Run DMC. What's up? But that was a corny song.
Yeah, but it's DMC's beginning verse. Like when DMC say it's Christmas time in Holland, Queens, mom's cooking chicken and collard green. Like that. What about like that one line? Look, that one line made that song.
Chicken and collard greens. My mama was cooking chicken and collard greens, so it was like I can't feel the way I want to make it feel the way with it. Y'all made it snow. It's snowing.
Oh no, she's talking about when we met. Like
y'all made it snow.
So okay, so this is what she mean by we made it snow. So she ain't talking about we made it snow beautifully. Like it was a bad blizzard here. Like there was cars like getting in accidents. We tried to look for food. We almost crashed ourselves.
I think about how romantic it was that y'all were meeting.
No, it was romantic, but it was funny. It was funny. Like we got snowed in. It was me, her, and APE, and we all got hungry, and we like, hey, let's go grab some food. And we in her Honda Civic try to get some food, knowing damn well there's no way picking up the traction it need to in the snow because nothing got shoveled yet. Cars was like going downhill, trying to go uphill, but they moving backwards. There's accidents. We was like, you know what? Forget it. None of the restaurants are probably open. Let alone the one place that stayed open where we got food from was a Chinese restaurant. So I got me some mambo wings and fries and called it a day.
Oh, that was with it. That was like, that's
it. Good. So I was good. We were good. So yes, we made it snow, but it wasn't.
That's not romantic.
It was cute. It was cute and dangerous. That's what it was.
It was foreshadowing. The ancestors was like, y'all gotta see what it's like to be stuck together. And then y'all got stuck together.
Yeah.
For real.
Look, like I tell everybody, they say the second year of marriage is supposed to be like the worst year you go through your marriage. That's what they say. It's like
the honeymoon's over.
Yeah, the honeymoon's over. The second year is when you feel everything. And lo and behold, our second year being married is the damn pandemic. So
man.
But we here though. We made it.
Man. Y'all got through it, stuck together. See, it started like that, and here it is continuing. Stuck in the middle with you.
See, this is what I'm gonna miss doing this show.
I love it. I love a great love story.
I know it is. Like I think that's probably been one of the best. So we met in September. So like everything we went through led up to what we do now, and it's always been a blessing. And you know, every relationship, I can say every relationship has its moments, but I think the funny thing about me and Monica is that even when we get in our arguments, one of us will do something so goofy that it breaks that whole tension and everything goes back the way it was. So
that's the kind of things that I think aren't discussed a lot when you talk about what builds lasting relationships, whether it's friendships or romantic partnerships. And I think it's the ability to disrupt tension. Like if you have someone in your life where, you know, no matter what, like if there's tension going on, like somebody's gonna disrupt it. Like y'all don't have the ability to just be around each other and let it be tense like that. Somebody's gonna say something like, okay, what's good? Like either we gonna fight or we gonna figure it out. But let's just get rid of this feeling. Cause I'm not about to be walking on eggshells like, are you mad or not? You know what I'm saying? You want these pancakes or not?
Yeah, you want these pancakes. Oh man.
I put blueberries in them, you know?
Yeah. I'm laughing because we went to IHOP today. So next, so being that it's Christmas, your daughter is making gingerbread houses, rocking out, doing this beautiful thing because Christmas is right around the corner. Yeah. I guess the crazy question would be if there was one nerd gift that you would want brought to you on Christmas Day, what would you want it to be?
I want a Storm action figure. They don't make a whole lot of them, and I want one. I was kind of insulted that they had so many T'Challa action figures, and they didn't have they don't have the variety that they have with T'Challa. They don't have that of Storm, and in my opinion, she was the more famous superhero. So.
Yeah, so it's crazy you say that because there was a discussion that I had with some people before, and we were talking about like the Avengers and everything of that nature. And I literally told people, I was like, you do know, like Tony Stark's was never like a top tier Marvel character. He was a secondary. Like a lot of the characters were secondary characters. It was just the Avengers was like the one thing that brought them together.
Yeah, it was like a bench that could have been starters that we didn't think about. Like, oh man, that would have been a dope starting lineup. Dang, the Lakers was asleep. You know what I'm saying? Type time. That's what the Avengers were. It's like the second string guys that were actually really good. That's what they were composed of.
And it's crazy because I always teeter a little more DC sometimes than Marvel. But the thing with DC, the Justice League, like no one never talks about Justice League's in depth, like the in depth character development with their like. I told people to watch. I say if you ever want to see how they good writing for a cartoon comic book series, look at how they did Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. Because aside from main bad guy stories, they had inner conflicts going on with other stories. Like the Green Lantern, John Stewart was used to talk to Hawk Girl, and I think Justice League. But when they did Justice League Unlimited, he ended up breaking up with her to then start talking with Vixen, and all of them are in the Justice League, so they always look at each other a certain way. It is always, and they made the secondary characters bigger characters because you want to know more about those characters.
Yeah, but like Justice League just don't got the juice. Like they don't got the juice.
Animated. They do. It's the live action they mess up on, and because if you go to any of the DC animated, like DC animated movies are better than Marvel animated movies.
No, I received that. But the stories are not. Yeah, that's why I'm talking. I like the stories. I feel like DC's writers, man, they need better
writers. They need better writers.
It's missing eggs. Like they whip up a recipe and like they forget to put the eggs in it, so it never takes form like the way that it did. It's not to say that it's not cool, sweet, and you know, it'll satisfy you, but it's just not. It's not the full cake. It's not what you were expecting.
Because they rushed the product. If you think of how Marvel did theirs, they did it bit by bit. With DC, when they started trying to do a cinematic universe to match Marvel, they rushed everything together to try to catch up. Like the whole Batman versus Superman, it was like 5-6 different storyline adaptations thrown into one. I was
like, what in the hodgepodge melting pot of stories? And
it was there. They tried to rush it just to say,
what are y'all doing?
They tried to rush it in order to get to the Justice League movie because the part with Batman and Superman itself versus Superman, it comes from a story known as The Dark Knight Returns, Part 1 and Part 2.
Yeah.
And they build up as to why Batman and Superman finally fought. They didn't do it in this. They just said, we just gonna throw it together. And
it'll make sense. And even if it doesn't, who cares? It's a Batman.
Yeah, like it is. So it's always like I said, it's always been one of those arguments where it's like, yeah. So I'm about to recap something for you because we didn't talk about it, but everybody should be caught up now. So remember when we had to talk about Lovecraft Country?
Yes.
But we never really talked about it because people didn't see certain episodes. So everybody should be caught up now.
I agree.
Okay. So I am going to bring up something with this show. And I want to see if you caught it or not. So the ending with the girl.
I hated the ending. Sorry. But yes.
No, go ahead. Explain why you talk about the ending. Explain why you hated the ending.
It felt rushed. The same thing we were just talking about with DC. I felt like it was rushed. And they just abruptly ended it. And then it was just like another story of Black women saving the world, but a Black man gets all the credit. And I was just over that. Seriously. Not just Black women, the women in general, because the Asian woman that he had been cruel to, like talked to crazy in front of his old lady. You know, he gonna take her to dinner like, my bad, but I need your help. Like, Neil still hasn't seen it all.
He said, I just got here and already gotta go.
I'm so sick of
You should have been B Neil, I love
have
you,
a
bro. You
good
should have
show,
been seen
Neil. Yeah.
it. I love you, but you should have been seen it because I'm about to drop a spoiler.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you had plenty of time.
yeah. So spoiler warning, if you don't want to hear this part, like tune out for like a minute or two, come back. So you do know that I think what was her name? The little girl that got the robot arm. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I can't think of it.
Yeah, she
You know what? But you know the character. It's fine.
I know exactly who you're talking about. That was also my issue. Is like everybody failed that little girl.
They did. Look, here's the thing. Look, you do know that's who gave Atticus the book in the future.
That's who that was.
Because remember when he first sat down and said, "Hey, I have this book. I know what's going to happen," and then they went back to the scene where him and his dad.
I thought his son is who wrote the book.
No, he know his son. No, his son wrote the book, but then him and his dad went back to his dad's apartment and they were talking, and he was like, and his dad said, "Tell me what happened again." He said, "Yeah, it all happened so fast." He said, "I found myself in the area." He said, "I found myself in a place I wasn't familiar with in the future. There's a whole bunch of riots and protesting going on. All of a sudden, this woman with a hood came up to me, gave me this book, and pushed me back." And then he said, "Yeah." He's like, all of a sudden, this woman came up to me with a hood, put this book into my chest, and pushed me back to a portal. And then his dad said, "You mean the woman with the robot arm?" Yeah.
I didn't catch that. I missed that detail. I gotta go back and see it.
Because I was watching it, then I was like, and then I waited 2 days, and something made me think about that scene again. I was like, hold up. And then I went on YouTube to find that particular part, and I looked it up. I was like, that's the person that gave him the book in the future.
Yeah.
And then there was another giveaway with Ruby not being Ruby when they got into the car.
Yeah.
And I didn't pick up on that until I remembered the beginning of the whole show when Ruby was introduced, and then when they were in the car singing the song. Because I forgot she said she never liked that song or would never be caught singing. And then she's singing in the car happy. And that's what I said. I'm gonna go back through it now and see what all I missed, the small details. Because now I think if I go back and see the small details, it's gonna make me appreciate. It may make me like certain episodes more, but not all of them like that.
So I stopped liking it once the more details. I didn't like the the violent murder of the non-binary person, like the only non-binary person in the entire
the hermaphrodite.
The two-spirit. The two-spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And so by main character, and then there was no justice or speaking about it. After that was that rubbed me the wrong way. A lot of stuff rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like the fact that while Hippolyta was damn near dying trying to keep the portal open, we was getting a slow clap walk. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I hated that. I hated that. I even told him I said if Hippolyta die, I'm gonna be mad.
I was big mad. I was like, man, you run everywhere. She ran everywhere. She was running everywhere. The whole show. Everywhere she was, she had on her running shoes. She had on her running shoes. So why was it? Why?
So for me, I was mad at it, and then I tried to put it to the context of the fact that she was protected from any harm.
Yes.
And had a descendant getting burned alive in front of her and nothing happened to her. I think that kind of, even though she
Diana was dying. Like, let's
I
not
know it's
trip
like
in.
it's like hard.
Why
Like,
you
I
and
don't know.
Larry
Like
together?
I'm always 50-50 with that scene. Like at the beginning, like why would you walk knowing this stuff is happening? And then at the same time, it's like seeing somebody burned alive and praying, which is like another one of
Exactly.
those.
It was a lot. And then Diana, like I feel like the adults in her cipher failed her because she was screaming for help. She was obviously disturbed. Her mama bailed on her, man. And even when she challenged her mom, was like, "You bailed on me." Her mom was like, "I know you're mad. You have right to be, but this is temporary. This is temporary feeling." And I'd be like, "That's what people be telling little black kids." It's like, I know this is messed up, but you'll get over it. And
Yeah.
I'm over it. Like, we
But the
can't
question,
just keep ignoring stuff. Like, we need therapy. We
but here's
need.
the question though: like, if they do a new season, do you think she really will be over it, or did the way that ends seem like it could be a setup for something going into a new season?
I feel like she. I mean, I feel like she has no choice but to get over it. But
Yeah.
you see what happened is like what getting over it looks like. It looks like her uh murdering a white woman because she's angry and she doesn't have a healthy way to process her anger without violence. That's what getting over fucked up things that happen to you looks like. Without proper channels and responsible adults that are doing responsible things with your trauma. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, that's what I think the writers got right. Like, that's what happens when you'll get over it. Trust me, it's a temporary feeling.
Oh
That's
yeah.
right. Because eventually you just be like, oh, I'll just fix my own problems. But you're young and your brain is not fully developed. All right. And so the way that you're processing things is survival, right? And which is in her situation really truly became kill or be killed. And so there it was. And that's what became of her. And my heart went out to Diana. I was kind of like upset. I mean, I think the concept of the show is brilliant. I think the merging of the genres is brilliant. I think the frame and everything. I just feel like the finale just wasn't thought through. I feel like it was rushed, and I would be surprised if there was a season two
I
as a
think
result.
I think they are going to do a season 2, and the reason being because so I'm trying to get the book now, but I know there's more story that they're leaving out, and I think what they try to
That's
do,
because it was like a racist mind story originally.
but I think what they're trying to do is establish that the story. So the story that he actually had, because I actually looked up something, the story that he actually had in the, and this is what's freaky about that part. The story that he had, even though the character is supposed to be his son, that wrote the book, it's
Yeah.
it's actually the real author. So that book is actually the real book. So he said it's different than the time he's in, which means that he actually kind of broke the fourth wall to get the real book. And then
Yeah.
he's saying what they're doing is something different. So it's like a parallel. It's like a parallel universe, which
Yeah,
that
with
actually,
Hippolyta's story, I am kind of like hinted at that
yeah.
there would be that. Yeah.
So it sets up that possibility that it could be because they probably they're doing a whole nother like different timeline than what's actually happened in the book. So that way they don't have to they can go to the source material, but they don't necessarily have to use the source material. Kind of like what they did with Game of Thrones when it got the season 6 and they just went everywhere with it and it was bad.
It was just that's what happened with the season finale. It was like the entire season 6 of Game of Thrones in one episode. I was like, no, please stop doing this.
They did season 6 of Game of Thrones because they didn't have nothing to go off of because the books weren't done. And
Right.
so they just like we gonna end it and we just gonna
But
make
just
our
make
own
it
ending and go from here.
Drakari.
So all right, I got two more questions. I got two more things I'm gonna bring up, and
Okay.
one you're gonna hate me for, and I don't care, but I have to tell you this because you need to know.
Here we go.
Your boy Goku almost cost the planet once again.
Is it red?
He almost doomed the planet once again. He is a terrible hero. I love him for
Get off my dog. He got daddy issues, man.
No. Okay, so I am about to break it down for you. This is what happened. So what had happened was there's an art called the Universal Control Prisoner art. He was fighting this guy named Moro.
Yeah.
Moro basically became merged with two of his people, became like literally stronger than Super Saiyan Blue. Goku finally got Master Ultra Instinct. He mastered Ultra Instinct. When he was told by the Angel Whis that he needs to beat him, you know what Goku does? Goku pulls a Cell Saga, asks Krillin for a Sensu Bean, gives the bad guy the Sensu Bean to heal. So he starts beating up the guy again, but because he didn't realize that an angel that passed away power was still like lingering, the bad guy absorbs the power and becomes Planet Moral, which means he merged with the Earth. So Goku could not do nothing because if Goku hit him, the planet would be destroyed.
Yeah.
So Goku was trying. So they told him how to beat him, but Goku waited so long till he got to a point where he couldn't do anything, and Vegeta had to come with the assist. And Vegeta literally came down and told him, "You messed up again."
I mean, that's what Vegeta's there for. Okay, we all have that person in our life to be like, not again. How dumb are you? Let me see. Oh, you still dumb. Let me fix that. Let me help.
To be Neil, I'm not spoiling Super. I'm just letting you know about a part that happened. That's it. I'm gonna tell you how it ends. I'm gonna tell you the arc ends. You got to read the manga. But that's something Goku did. Because Goku was always trying to fight strong people, don't care if he cost the planet its existence. And then when he's about to lose, then he starts crying. I should have listened.
But Goku is beloved of the universe.
Goku just likes fighting.
Goku does like fighting, but Goku also was taught. You know, he was born into this. It's not like this is the path that he chose for himself. This is the path that was chosen for him. You know, and so, like in him, he attempting to, jeopardizing the planet to heal the bad guy. You know, I think that was a form of rebellion, a display of rebellion.
Goku's an addict. Goku doesn't know when and how to kick. That's what that is. Like, there's the moment you have to just like chill. Goku has no chill when it comes to fighting.
You don't have no chill. What you talking about? There's nothing chill about.
He has no chill. Goku just like, oh, he can fight. I want to go fight him. Let's go fight.
I think we should fight. Fighting is good. Fighting is what, that's what I'm good at.
His goal is to fight and hopefully become friends. And if nobody wants to become his friend, then he's going to heal him just to tell them go train and come fight him again.
Yeah.
With the likelihood not realizing that they're going to blow up the planet possibly. But,
I mean, he did. But did you die? Did they die? Did the planet blow up? No. You know why? Because Vegeta's the homie came through. Handle that. No problem. Everybody got shooters on their team, What do people say? Don't give me the gun, because you know what I'm gonna do. Just don't give me the gun. You know what I'm gonna do.
I don't know who this is, but they say I just want to say, Ebony, they love your laugh.
Blessings. I got my laugh from my grandmother, and my dad has it too. And Mahogany Rose teases me about my laugh. She's 3 now, so she's began taunting her mom. She realizes I'm not as cool as everybody thinks I am now. And so when I laugh, she like makes fun of me. She tries to mimic my laugh. Like it's a real thing. Like she teases me about my laugh. I'm like, Mahogany, go to your room. I can't help it. Your great grandma gave it to me. You good? Don't make fun of your ancestors.
So we have come to, I guess, what would be essentially the last question for our wonderful show.
Okay.
And it really has nothing to do with. It has stuff to do with something nerdy because it's dealing with the person. But it has nothing to do with any other things going on as far as like context of movies or anything like that. It's dealing with you. What future projects do you have that you have in the works as you head towards 2021?
So much. So much. So as of October 1st, I became the executive director of the Performers Academy. And we have a community-wide after-school program that launches January 4th called Squad Goals Teen Studio. And we'll be teaching seven artistic disciplines, inclusive of fashion design, um, to do all kind of youth. 30 kids. We're only accepting 30, so that we can properly socially distance. And so that's gonna be dope. I have a play that's coming out called The Glorious Struggle of the Charismatic Hero. We've already done a virtual reading on World AIDS Day with off-Broadway directors and actors, and it was really dope. I have a novel coming out called The Road to Hell, and a children's book called Your Heart Must Return. So I'm going to be very busy. I have a lot going on. And some other things that I haven't even mentioned because I don't have my patents and stuff back yet. But I have products coming out. I have an album coming out called Kuangoza on March the 7th. And I'm super excited about that. Moses and I have a song on there together called X-Men.
Hey.
So, yeah, it's dope.
That is awesome.
What about you? What you got going?
Oh man. So the first thing is tomorrow. I am having my first international interview with a German radio station about my book 310. So that's gonna be that's gonna be fun. And I have to give a shout out to Adam Sparks, who's known as the Fifth Horseman here in North Carolina, because he actually was the one that set that up. I gotta thank that. I gotta thank him for that. I cannot take credit for that because the brother hit me up saying, "Hey, your books be sold overseas?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Cool." Next thing you know, he's like, "I want to introduce you to our friend Natty," and he ended up connecting us. She actually did a show with Roscoe Burnhams. If y'all are familiar with Roscoe Burnhams, please look him up. And I know so he ended up getting an interview with them, and then I'm their second interview with this show. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be dope. There's some other things that's kind of in the works, like I really want to tell people about, but I gotta wait till the ink dry before I can really put it out there. I do know that we're blessed to do a second season of the Art to Heart series. So we got some dope people lined up. We got Veronica Taylor, who's OG Ash Ketchum from Pokemon. It's gonna be one of our guests. We're gonna be interviewing Goldie. If you guys are familiar with Goldie, Goldie was on Goldie from season 1 of Flavor of Love.
Yeah.
You heard. We got a lot. It's a lot happening, and I'm thankful for it. I was proud, and even though this happened already, I was happy that with the book 310, there were some local stage actors that did a dramatic book reading for that, and it was awesome. It's actually can be found on YouTube, but it's some stuff in the works. It's a lot. It's a lot that I want to say, but I can't say. But I can tell you that I'm being very busy. I can also say that I'm going into my third year working with Wounded Warrior Project too. We got some good stuff coming up with Wounded Warrior Project. I wish we can make it open to everybody to see, but we can't at the moment until a certain thing happens. But it's a lot.
Okay.
I got a lot happening, and I'm looking forward to Nerd Slam whenever I get Nerd Slam going.
Yeah, big things popping. I can't wait for the Nerd Slam. But you know, they did the head-to-head haiku in Abu Dhabi.
Saw that, and it was, and I saw they did that. And I heard it was phenomenally dope.
Yeah, it was dope. It was dope. So Nerd Slam.
Oh, trust me when I say I am working on something that I am hoping I can get off in 2021. Bigger than anything anyone can imagine. Trust me when I tell you I am working behind the scenes on a lot of stuff. So
I'm with it.
But
I'm with it. I like it.
Yeah, I love it. everybody, we are so thankful that y'all stayed.
Thank y'all for tuning in, for riding with
our
us.
last wonderful series finale of the beautiful Ninja Nerd and the Nubian. Now, if you guys enjoyed any of this and you would like to relive the moments, you can go on YouTube to find this, but there will be a particular playlist put together tonight. Matter of fact, as this gets done, with all of our episodes, including the pilot episode, which started it all, which that's all chopped up and everything. Moses with the bad Wi-Fi and all that stuff. Like all that. I got all that. We got all that stuff.
We're missing Moses tonight. Big up to Moses West.
Yes, definitely. And definitely, if you want to follow Moses West, go to his IG right here and tell him that y'all missed him when wish he could have came on the show. He'll probably respond to y'all back 10 times out of 10 and respond to y'all back. Of course, my sister, Eminent Payne, you can follow her right there on IG. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful IG. And as always, y'all can follow me on IG, ELJA Poetry. That's pretty much it, guys. This was fun. It was a good season finale. I'm glad we got a chance to catch back up on the Lovecraft because I want to talk about that so bad. Hey, man.
The combination of the genres was dope. Also, I could have gone my whole life without seeing a white woman bathe in a black man's blood. Like, she took a whole shower.
Oh, my God.
This is the reason I don't watch horror movies. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I want to see that. I could have gone my whole life without seeing that. That was a lot. That was a whole lot.
Yeah. But with everything we have, guys, we love y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And always remember purpose over popularity. And by all means, make sure you follow us because, we stay busy in these streets. And if my twin working, I'm trying to point to the right. Well, there we go. If my twin's working, I can't even point to the right. There we go. It's hard doing it this way. Like, if my twin's doing work, I'm doing work. And if Moses doing work, we doing work. Everybody working. That's all y'all need to know. We love y'all.
We cried.
And always remember, purpose over popularity. Take care, guys. We love y'all. Peace.